Okay, welcome to this video, and today we are starting trigonometry. Okay, and the first thing is that we're gonna study the sum identity. So we're gonna study the sum identity. So what do I mean by sum identity? So sum identity is this: finding out the formula for cosine a plus b, cosine a minus b, and sine a plus b, and sine a minus b. Okay, so I'm going to do a sweet and simple proof of this. Okay, so the proof that you can remember. Okay, so that proof I'm going to do for this. Okay, so let's say so we're going to derive the formula for this. Okay, so what we have to first consider is, let's draw a unit circle. So this is a unit circle, let's say. Okay, and onto that unit circle I have two angles made here, A and B. Okay, so A and B are here angles. A and B represent here angles. So you have two angles made here, A and B, and let's say that B is smaller than A. Angle B is smaller than A. Does that make sense? So this B is smaller than A. So let's say A is here. So this much thing, let's make it more tilted here. Okay, so let's say this much is A. Does that make sense? And this much is B. This much is B. Yes, this much is B. Okay, alright, but wait here. Actually, I'm going to make an amendment. So I'm going to change B. Why am I going to change B? Let's make B an acute angle. Because if you make B an acute angle, it will be much easier. Okay. I made a mess here. Okay, so this much was our A, and let's say B is this. Okay. So let's write AB here. A is this, B is this. I don't know, denote the angle there. Okay. So this much is A and this much is B. Okay, why? Because you might get confused. Okay, so let's say this much is angle A and this much is angle B, and I also have denoted the points here, point A and B. Okay, and the coordinates of A is gonna be what? Cosine A, because let's call the angle A here. This much angle is A. Okay, so the coordinates is gonna be cosine A, comma sine A, because we know it's a unit circle. Does that make sense? And this is gonna be cosine B, because let's call this angle B. This much is B. Then this is gonna be cosine B, comma sine B. Okay, till here it makes sense. It makes perfect sense. Now tell me.
Here, in this side, sine and cosine are positive.
Cosine and sine are positive. Not necessarily. They can be negative also. Let's say if this thing is in the first quadrant, then cosine and sine both are going to be positive. If it is in second quadrant, then cosine will be negative, but sine will be positive.
Then
why have I given cosine? Cosine can be negative as well. Negative value. If I put negative sign before this, then if this is negative, this will become positive. So it's a variable. And for variable, I don't have to put plus or minus there. Does that make sense? It's a variable. It can be anything. Okay, alright, so this much I guess you have understood. And now, next what you have to do is, you have to locate the angle A minus B. Okay? This is by hand we have to do. You have to locate where A minus B is. Okay? So, by measurement or anything, okay? So this much is A, okay? So from here to there, if this is A and this much is B, I know that this is gonna be what? A minus B of this much angle. But if I locate A minus B, then it will be somewhere there. This much angle will be A minus B. Manually, if I locate this, So does it make sense? Do you understand what I said right now, or what I did? Okay. So through math, this is our a minus b. But if you manually draw a minus b now here, it's gonna be somewhere there. I don't know, is it exact or not? For sure it is not exact, but let's suppose that it is exact. Does that make sense? Yes. If you have done it manually, then this might be what? Exact. Okay. So let's suppose that this is a minus b. Then this angle will be what? Cosine a minus b, comma sine a minus b. Does that make sense? Okay, so it's angle a minus b. Okay, so this angle is b here. This much here is a. This much here is a, and this much right over here is a minus b. So I'm gonna make a chord from here to there, and a chord from here to there. Okay, they have the same angle. This angle and this angle, this much angle is equal. So what I'm saying is this thing. This is what here? A minus b. Why it is a minus b? Because through math, look, from here to there it is a, and from here to there it is b. So for sure this is going to be a minus b. I'm talking about this. Does that make sense? This is going to be, this angle is going to be a minus b. And this a minus b is another angle which I have manually drawn. Huh? And this angle are equal. This manually drawn a minus b and the calculated a minus b, they are what? Equal. And these chords also will be equal because they have the same center angle. If this is the same angle, this is the same angle, then the size of the chord will be also what?
Equal.
Same, equal. So I can find the length of this chord and find the length of this another chord and equate it. Okay? So the coordinate here is 1, comma 0. Okay, and we know the coordinate of this. We know the coordinates of these as well. So let's figure out. We have already named it A and B. Let's name this P and Q. Let's say. Okay. So when I find the length of PQ. Okay, chord PQ. So what chord PQ is gonna be? It's gonna be square root of 1 minus. Okay. Cosine a minus b whole squared plus 0 minus sine a minus b whole squared. So if you square it, it's going to be sine squared a minus b. Did it make sense? Because 0 minus sine a minus b is minus sine a minus b. Squaring that is sine squared a minus b. So all we are doing is calculation. We're just doing calculations now. Okay, so let's do the calculation of this thing. So yeah, this is going to be square root of 1 minus 2 cosine a minus b plus cosine squared a minus b plus sine squared a minus b. And we know now that this will be 1, so we can write this as 1 minus 2 cosine a minus b plus 1, and 1 and 1 add up to be 2 here. So this is 2 minus 2 cosine a minus b. Does it make sense? So finally, after doing the calculations, what PQ turns out to be is, that's why the final answer just here. Okay, so if you write the final answer, then this is going to be square root of 2 minus 2 cosine a minus b. Okay. And let's compute the another chord, which is AB. So let's compute AB now. Aryan, are you understanding this till here? Huh? So AB, let's calculate AB. So AB is gonna be what? Square root of cosine A minus cosine B whole squared plus sine A minus sine B whole squared. Okay, sine A minus sine B whole squared. Okay, easy. And if you solve it, it is going to be what? Cosine squared A minus 2 cosine A cosine B plus cosine squared B plus sine square A minus 2 sine A sine B. Is everything been recorded? Plus sine square B. Okay, so this is all under the square root. Okay, so I don't have a space for calculating it, so calculate it here now. Let's do the calculation here. So this was all computation. So AB is going to be equal to what? Square root cosine square A, and do you have another A here? Yes. Sine square A, this is going to be 1. Okay, and sine square B and cosine square B, this is going to be another 1, plus, what do you have left here? Okay, so it's minus 2 cosine A cosine B. Does it make sense?
Minus.
So it's minus.
Yeah, minus.
Minus.
Yes, one of the minus.
Okay, so this thing, yeah, I see. Minus 2 sine A sine B. Okay, so finally, if you write the final answer, because I'm gonna write this up now, I'm just gonna write the final answer here. So the final answer is going to be what? The final answer is going to be square root of 2 minus 2 cosine A cosine B minus 2 sine A sine B. Okay, and now we can equate these two. Okay, and I want to equate now PQ squared is equal to AB squared. And you'll be like, why do I want to square it? To simplify. Simple thing, to get rid of the square roots here. Okay, so PQ squared will be the whole thing without the square root, and this whole thing without the square root. So this will be 2 minus 2 cosine A minus B is equal to AB squared, which is 2 minus 2 cosine A cosine B minus 2 sine A sine B. Does that make sense? 2 gone, as you said. Okay, so now what is gonna be? Let's take this onto that side to make it positive. So it will be 2 cosine A minus B. 2 cosine A minus B is equal to, if you take this onto that side, it's gonna be 2 cosine A cosine B plus, it's going to be plus because it's on that side, 2 sine A sine B. Okay, dividing both sides by 2 gets us cosine A minus B is equal to cosine A cosine B plus sine A sine B, and this is what we were interested in. This is what we were interested in computing. So now we have done computing what cosine A minus B is. So cosine A minus B is cosine A cosine B plus sine A sine B. Okay, so now the computation process is done, the result is known, and you have to memorize the result. Does that make sense? So cosine A minus B is cosine A cosine B plus sine A sine B. Easy. So summarizing this again, how do we compute? We made angle A and made angle B. Okay, so it doesn't matter whether angle B is obtuse or acute. I just made it acute for making it look cleaner. Does that make sense? Huh? So we made angle A and we made angle B, and then we made angle A minus B manually, which was this A minus B manually, and this manually drawn angle and this angle is going to be equal because the whole is A and this much is B, so this is going to be A minus B. And as these two angles are equal, the chord drawn are also what? Equal. We found the length of the chord, equated it, squared it, and got the answer. Does that make sense? And as we have cosine A minus B, now we can compute what cosine A plus B is. You'll be like, how can you compute cosine A plus B is? Do you have to do this whole thing again and again? No, you don't have to do. how you can compute cosine A plus B. Just pay attention. Cosine A plus B is gonna be what? It's gonna be cosine A minus B. Let's treat this as A and let's treat this as B. We know the formula for cosine A minus B. Okay? So if we compute it, we're gonna get cosine A, cosine B, minus sine A, sine B. So I didn't do this, you try doing this. Okay? You try doing this. Does that make sense? So the formula becomes clearer and easier. So we okay, so I didn't compute it, I just wrote it directly. Compute this. Okay, so now if we have this, we can compute it for sine as well. So if you want to compute it for sine A plus B, we can write sine A plus B as what? Cosine pi over 2 minus A plus B. And from this we can know what sine A plus B is. Okay, in the same way, if we have sine A plus B, we can know what sine A minus B is. How do you know what sine A minus B is? Sine A minus B will be sine A plus minus B. Okay, from this we can compute all the other things that we might be interested in. Okay, so this was it in today's video, and I hope this video might have helped you, and I hope to see you in the next video.